And that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition, imagine your trade successfully materializing, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So we got some updates to get. Um, if everybody can hear me okay, just drop me one in the chat. Yep, yep. All right. Beautiful. So let's hop over to trading economics. We will talk about this. We'll start off talking about this Japanese yen, and then we'll talk about some dollar stuff as well. So Bank of Japan interest rates. All right, cool. Bank of Japan held their key rate as expected yesterday. Um, after delivering the first hike. Same time, the board indicated that it may consider how it would start to reduce bond purchases at its July meeting. So, in the original statement, um, they didn't really give direction on the bond purchases, right? And it was relatively a dovish take on their stance. Um, but they said that they would talk about that next month. Um, there it was passed 8-1, majority move by board member Nakamura Toyaki. Toyaki um, dissented, and their aim is to allow long-term rates to move more freely. Um, in the press conference, Governor Ueda stated that the cuts in bond purchases would be substantial. Those are the words that he used. So initially, there was a dovish take to the original rate statement that was released. Um, but then during the press conference, he said that the cuts would be substantial. He also discussed um, that a rate increase next month would be possible and likely if the economy continues to trend in the way that it's trending. So after the conference, then the tone kind of changed, and we saw some uh some positive movement out of the yens. All right, so we got a push to the upside, and then we got a reversal um, on the yen crosses. So just some of the this is in Forex Factory, some of the comments right outlined the buying plan at the upcoming meeting. He also stated that they want to make sure that um they cut their purchases in a what was the word that he used? Um, they don't want to surprise the market, basically. I forget the exact word that he used, but they want to make sure that the decisions that they make are when it comes to bond purchases are known, and they don't surprise the market. So the press conference was more of a hawkish-ish stance. But we will see how things continue to move. We'll see if because the Bank of Japan ultimately, right, still hasn't changed anything. Um, so we'll see how the market responds to things over the coming weeks. But that's what happened. Um, Eurozone trade surplus below expectation. Um, that's it on this side of trading economics. We'll come over here to the calendar. We'll scroll back a couple days. Thursday, CPI data for the United States came in below expectation, right? So you saw a slight retracement in the dollar, and then things took off back to the upside. Um, the FOMC statement on Wednesday. The FOMC statement on Wednesday. The investors were talking about multiple hikes based on the dot plot, but the dot plot only showed one hike this year, and that was the stance of the Fed as well, even with data coming in a little bit below expectation. So still more of a hawkish stance from the Fed. Um, what else did we have? What else did we have? Unemployment rate for the Aussie came in at expectation. The employment change was above expectation. Um, then what else am I missing? I think that's it. I think that's it. Um, Team, did you guys come across anything from a fundamental perspective that you have, or do you have questions, or did you come across anything that you saw over the past couple of days? Nope. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I am doing well, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. I appreciate you filling in for me, man. So they'll be
Yes,
here
sir.
between 8 and 12 today. So my internet should be back up and running. So
Yes,
yep.
sir. No
Other than
doubt.
that, everything is good. It's good, man.
Awesome. Awesome. What's your take across the fundamentals um over the past
Uh,
couple of days?
uh a bunch of craziness. So I
Facts.
don't know. I'm just sitting back watching it all, man. Like I mean I was thinking well, we're already short on the Euro USD, but I was thinking kind of like coming off that ECB meeting, a potential rally. But I don't know. Some of the whereas a lot of the economic indicators for the euro were positive coming out of the April meeting. Some of this stuff, what was that this morning? The output down, industrial output down for the eurozone. Um,
Yep.
yeah. So some of that is kind of shaky coming out of this meeting. So I'm kind of watching the trend because I don't know. My initial thoughts with the one rate cut and then being data dependent, but I'm thinking the market is like, well, some of this data lately has been kind of shaky. So, maybe more rate cuts, in the future if they're gonna remain data dependent. The data isn't looking too hot right now. So I don't know, so definitely staying bearish on a Euro USD. And then that, with that Japan, as far as the bond, the taper in the bond, that would eventually strengthen, the yen. Um, and the way the market's taking, I mean, I know you look at some of the yen pairs today, but I'm seeing some corrective action happening. I don't know if it's a result of that or what's going on. So just
Yep.
trying to get caught up with everything with the internet being down, you know. Uh, but I don't know. And then we've got some things going on with elections, right? Within in the euro area.
Yeah, I
Some
didn't get a chance to get updated on that.
I
Did you
know,
catch
I
anything?
know. No, like I said, I should be caught up by this afternoon once they get my internet and everything back up. But yeah, it's a lot going, a lot going on. So again, just remaining patient, just playing those trades that's in the sweet spot, not getting too erratic. I did take a hit on one of my Euro pairs that I thought was gonna rally, but yeah, kind of just just in a kind of a wait and see mode with some of these pairs.
Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure. It's definitely been an interesting couple days.
Yeah, I mean, and then like overall with the market, like with the S&P and it's had every reason to sell off, but it just keeps pushing. Like
Man,
it just keeps pushing higher, higher, higher. Like it's had every single reason for a sell off, but it just keeps, wanting to do its thing. It'll correct a little bit, then it'll move back up. So just some weird times right now. So just being cautious and
yes,
conservative.
sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool. Cool. Appreciate you. Joy EIA reports. Um, Crude oil inventories came in well above expectation. Um, you got a. 'Cause Wow. 17 million barrels per day during the week ending June 7th. Interesting. The U.S. is producing more oil. You got any links, Joy, on what you saw? In the community? Okay, my bad. I didn't get a chance to check that this morning. Let's see what we have. Oh, you got natural gas too. On it. On it, on it, on it. Beautiful. Oh yeah, 17 million barrels per day, which was 98,000 barrels per day less than the previous week's average. Refineries operated at 95% of their capacity last week. All right, so they're putting out essentially still putting out more than expected, instead of cuts. So cool, cool. Appreciate that. I'll read over that full report later on. Appreciate you sharing that, Joy. All right, cool. So let's take a look at these charts, man. Um, DXY, right? We had a retracement on Wednesday, right? Bullish action. We pulled back on Wednesday. Yesterday, we got our push, right? Um, now let's see if we're able to continue moving up and break above, but we got some new ABCD wave action happening off the low, right? 618 retracement, pushing to the upside. Next stop 106, 386. All right, unless something drastic happens. Okay, so the dollar is headed to the upside, right? Which we expected a bullish dollar, but we didn't expect the data to be this way, which is interesting. Um, so we continue to monitor and see how things go, right? But we'll track price as it continues to move to the upside here. Okay. So that is the DXY, dollar yen daily time frame, right? Sitting in this 118, 127 zone, still range bound, but we press to that 157, 742 level, and you see the strong rejection, right? See the strong rejection. So now let's see what happens from here, right? We'll see how everything is taken in during the New York session, right? And see if we get price to continue to move to the downside here. So definitely a strong reaction off that level. Okay. Down to the 4. There's that movement to the downside. There's our 80-20 on the 4. Right. So this is that corrective action Benny was talking about. We'll see if we're able to get a strong bearish break of the cloud, right, and move down. So got a trend line running there as well, some additional confirmation, but looking to see what happens here. See if we're able to actually get that push out of that 118, 127 zone that we've been kind of looking for. All right. I know I've been looking for it selfishly, but there we are. And then if we run our fib here on the 1, there's the move there. We just missed the D extension on that push to the upside. Actually, no. Yep. So 618 retracement. We just missed the D extension on that push to the upside, on that rally right after the statement, right after the data release, right? And then you see price turned over during the statement, and we got the press back down to the downside. So moving down at the moment, corrective action. We'll see if we get a deeper move, see if we can get back to 153,607 at least, and then see if we see what happens from there. All right, so that's the dollar yen starting to move down to the downside. Questions here?
Nope.
Oh, all right, cool deal. While we're on the side, we'll take a look at the NZD yen. right? So that's on the 4, come back. Daily time frame, right? We just missed pushing up to that 118, 118, 127 zone, right? Take the smaller wave off for a second. Right, just missed the 118, 127 zone. You see prices trying to turn over, and we'll see if we get that move back down to the downside here. Okay. Down on the 4. We'll run these back to the upside. Make it more speed. There we go. So that's the look on the 4, right? So we'll see what happens when we get back to 95, 366. Okay. And then as we move down to the 1, I believe this is where we had our action. Well, that 80-20 played out. Am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing something. I thought we had an 80-20 here on one of these time frames. I might have ran my fibs incorrectly. But either way, right, the action is still, we got to push up before on the 30. You know, it was a larger fib. There's an 80-20. Nope, not even wick down too. I have to go back and run those. But we're looking for a push up, right? I got my markings here. We're looking for a push to the upside into the zone, and then price to start making this move to the downside. And ultimately, right, that's what we're getting. We got that push up, we got the consolidation, and now we're breaking down. So looking for the potential continuation there. See if we're able to break below this 95, 366 level to continue moving down. Okay. Did. Don't know what I did here, guys. Don't know. But I feel like there was a different one. Any questions on this New Zealand yen? All right, same action. Push up, then a move back down. Nope. Okay. Cool deal. Yeah, I don't know what I did. Don't know what I did. Maybe that's it. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Had it misplaced. There we go. There's our 80-20. We just wicked that 118 level. Just wicked the 118 level. And now we're starting to press down to the downside. So that's it on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. Just for clarity's sake. So Aussie yen. And this one was interesting, right? We didn't stay inside that AB boundary. So here on the daily time frame, still weren't able to break above this 104,859 level, right? And you see the reaction. It's starting to press back down now. So the daily level is holding, right? It's the third time that it's held. We'll see what happens as we continue to move forward. But pressing down to the downside off that level nonetheless, coming down to the 4. We weren't able to break out and break above, right? And continue this move higher. So now, right, we'll see if we're able to break out to the downside of this range. Because that's really what's happening here. Okay. So pressing down, we'll see if we get the movement to the downside to continue. All right. And then down on our 1, where we're looking at, we said we'll see if price stays inside that AB boundary, right? Pushed above, and now we're getting a reaction back down. Strong bearish break. We're starting to get a twist of the cloud. We'll run our fib in the opposite direction, and boom. Shallow retracement, just missed that 118 level there. Pressed down to the 382, came back, gave us a high price, and now we're headed back down. All right, so we're sitting at a 50% retracement right now. We'll watch and see how this one develops as well. Okay, but potentially pullbacks and continuations. Okay, so we'll see how the market takes the yen there. Questions on the Aussie yen?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. Um, we'll continue moving through the yens, and then we'll back up and look at some of the dollars as well.
So right.
Sir, talk to me.
So they're just talking about, right, bond tapering, right,
Yes,
which will pull currency out of the market, right? Therefore, if there's increased demand, it strengthens the yen. So they're just talking about it. So right now, I'm looking at these corrections until they actually do something. At least what how I'm trying to set up my playbook is these corrections are possibly opportunities for low prices to get back long against the yen because they haven't made any decisions, right? And
you're
they
correct.
didn't. They decided to hold rates, right? So it really is just talk the market down because I haven't even looked at. We're not looking at any type of risk off scenario right now, are we? I haven't even
Not
I
that
haven't even
I've
had to checked on that yet. So
not that I've seen.
yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about because we see the correction happening pretty much across the board so far, right? With
Yes,
these,
yes. I think
right?
that this reaction is to his words of the cut will be substantial.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay,
I think that's what this reaction is to. But to your point, yes, this is a low price to potentially get back long.
got it, got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it because that's how it's been for like 2 years. So
you're
with the
correct, bro.
there hasn't been like it hasn't been that trend treatment, that some people keep anticipating, with these yens, like when are they gonna make the big move? It just continues to be talking the market down and then a continuation long. So definitely keep a close eye on these to see where they settle in at because the dollar yen is correcting too, right? So
Yep,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So just something to pay close attention to.
I appreciate you making that point, bro. Because yes,
Yep.
right, definitely want to be aware of that and keep that perspective until they do change. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes I've missed opportunities thinking like, okay, I hear all the rhetoric. This might be the moment. But like I say, for 2 years, it's just been bond dips on these yen crosses,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
Because you still have that wide gap in
mhm.
policy. So yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
cool.
Agreed, bro. Appreciate you. Um,
On that, I wanted to ask because I can't find the article. They said that they haven't stepped in since '08 or '03 or something like that, and they're projected on whatever they did back then to do the same thing.
um, though they haven't increased policy. Is that what since 2007?
Since they intervened, I wish I would have posted that article. It said something about them intervening or something about the bonds. It was something that they did back in '08 or something.
Um,
If y'all knew, if I said anything, if it
I don't
sparked memory and knew anything.
know because
I,
they've been intervening periodically, right? We know they intervened twice this year already. Um, yeah, the only thing that goes back that far, to my knowledge, is their interest rate increases. They've
it
been
was
in that
okay.
negative space since 2007, and in March they came out of that. Um, and we'll see if they actually do make a change to move further, which maybe they're talking about their cutting of bond purchases, right? Because they've been buying bonds at a very large rate since around that time as well. So maybe that's what they're talking about in their cutting of their bond purchases. Maybe that's it. Cool. Yep, I'll take a look at that one, Reese. CAD yen, right? On the 4 range bound. That's the 80-20 scenario, right? We had the retracement pushed up. Now we're pushing back down. We'll see if we get back to 112,970, what happens there, right? See if that's the low price to get long that Ben was talking about. And see if that level holds for us, right? But there's an 80-20 and starting to push back down to the downside there. And there's our range on the 1 hour, right? So just back and forth. We almost got back to the top of the range and we're pressing back down now. So we'll continue to watch this and see how it goes. All right. Questions on the CAD yen? Nope. All right. Euro yen. Same scenario, right? Same scenario, but you see we're starting to turn over here, right? Benny talked about us having some dovish action in the euro, right? That combined with this reaction on the yen is starting to push this down. Now we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at this up trend line, right? And see if we're able to break that trend line to move south. But right, you got a combination of things happening with this euro yen. Okay. We weren't able to break back above 169.852. We'll see if we're able to break this uptrend line and give us some movement back down to the bottom here, at least at 163.950. And then we'll see what happens from there, right? But this is our 80-20 on the daily time frame. We come down to the 4. All right, and there's our movement there. Okay. Still hanging below the cloud here on the 4, right? But on this one, it's been interesting, and I've been watching this movement on the 4 to see if we're going to be able to break back above and stay, and we haven't been able to. So that cloud is held strong, even with price being in a range here. So now I'm looking to see if we're able to continue down with what's happening in Europe. So we'll watch and see what happens here, right? This is a support level. See if we're able to break that and continue moving down. Right. And if we do, right, 162.241 is the next stage. Okay. Then down on our 1. Here was the 80-20 on the 1 hour. Boom. We got a deep move, right? This is early in the week. Pulled back. Now we're pressing deeper. Okay. Now we're pressing deeper. So this one, we'll see if we take out that A boundary. Right now we're sitting at an 8.6 retracement, right? So this will be interesting to see, right? Could this be the low price that Ben been talking about, right? To turn over and push back to the upside. I'll bring that support level. We'll bring that down. Right. We'll see if we're able to kind of close below it. We might push back up. So let's watch that and see if this is the low price here. 8.6 retracement. Right. Let's see if that takes us back to the upside. Okay. So that's where we are on the euro yen. Questions? Nope. All right, cool. And then the pound yen, all right, similar story. So on this one, all right, we talked about it pushing up and hitting that daily D extension before we get a reaction. And that's what we got, right? We still got the stochastic pushing to the upside. But we pushed up and we hit that D extension, and you see the reaction we're starting to get. All right, so this daily fib is completed. That 80-20 did not play out, right? But we are turning over. We'll see if we're able to close below that 200 level. That's kind of been the level to stick at, right? 200, 201. See if we're able to continue to stay below that level. Down on the 4, hitting that level just pushes us into that 118, 127 zone, right? And now we're pushing back down, coming into the trend line and approaching the cloud, right? So we'll see if at some point we're able to break that, or do we get this rejection and get another push to the upside here, right? That the extension on the 4 hours at 202.876. So that called for us to break above these key levels that we've been watching here. Okay. Yeah. So now coming down to the 1, right? There's the move. Strong action, 618 retracement, right? See if price settles in here and stays inside this AB boundary. All right. See if price settles in and stays inside the AB boundary for that reversal. Okay. It's 202.489. I think this 4 hour and 1 hour D extension have a little bit of alignment. So there. It's a little above, but yeah. So that's our 4 hour D extension, right? Just above that 1 hour D extension. So we get price to settle in, and we get price to move back to the upside, right? We could head there, 202. Okay. So let's watch that and see how price responds here in the sweet spot, right? See if we get price to settle in. That's the pound yen. Questions? Nope. All right, cool. So let's look at some of these dollars. Euro dollar down, right? We haven't looked at this in a while, but we got this crown pattern on the weekly time frame. We haven't gotten to that 382. Been ranging a bit back and forth, pushed back up to that level, and now we're headed down, right? Next stop 106. Right. We've had for a little while some folks looking at price getting back to parity on this euro dollar. We'll see if we're able to do that. Right. So coming back to the 4, there's our move to the downside. The crown pattern still intact, even with the push back up. So let's see if we're able to continue moving down 106, 105, and further. Right, we got stochastic moving into the buy zone here, so that could signal at least a retracement and then a continuation. Okay, this is the look on the 4. Price did what we wanted it to do, right? We wanted to see it push into the 786 range, right, from our previous markup. We got that, and then turnover, bang. So looking for at least a continuation, right? But we might pull back first. We might get a bit of a pullback, something like this, and then see if we get that continuation down. Right? So that was a beautiful setup there. Then we come down to the 1, right? We got that 618 retracement off the 80-20. 80-20 to the upside, 618 retracement, turnover, bang, beautiful ABCD sequence here, right? Boom. So now we'll look for a reset. And we'll look for a high price to get back short again, right? That played out for us. Boom. Right? And so now, even if you're just playing on the 1 hour time frame, right? There's your ABCD sequence. 80-20 to your 618. Boom. And we'll look for the same thing. Right? See if we get an 80-20 in the scenario. Maybe not. Maybe we get just a straight retracement back to the level. Right? Or back to the zone. Right? And then we'll look for it to continue. Questions on the euro dollar? Beautiful ABCD sequence there.
No, man, rate cuts are significant, right? So that's what I'm taking for this euro. So even though, it was 25 basis points in their data dependent moving forward, and they didn't project any further cuts, they're gonna leave it based on the data, it's still a cut nonetheless. It's plummeted
Yeah.
ever since that cut.
It did. It did. And it's been that's been interesting too, right? Because they were did take more of a relatively hawkish stance um in that press conference. So it definitely has been short though.
Yep,
Definitely has been short. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And so even though uh, uh the S&B was a surprise rate cut when they did it, they were the first to cut. We know it was projected for the euro, but still, look at like you said, it was kind of a hawkish tone, like you said, but it's still a lot of downside pressure on this euro. So, like I said, I'm still getting caught up. I know there's a lot of things going on with, caution with some of the election stuff that's going on. I keep seeing just different highlights on that, so I've got to get to read more in detail. But right now, it's that euro is bailing.
It is, dude. And really against everything. The Euro Swiss. I got
Right,
stopped on that one, right?
right.
Um,
I did too. That's the one I got. That's the one I took the hit on. So,
yeah, yeah.
yep,
So it definitely is, man. Definitely is across the board. Definitely is across the
yeah,
board. Um, we'll take a look at this Euro CAD. Reese has 80-20 on the one, but right. So something that we haven't talked about in a while, but longer term, do we get price to turn over? Right. And it's on the monthly time frame, deep retracement, stayed inside the AB boundary, just been range bound. Do we get price to turn over? Okay. Weekly similar story. Deep retracement, and on the sub fib, you got 80-20. Right. We're just pressing out of that 118 off that 118 level. We're breaking back below that 147,819. Right. Do we see pullbacks and continuations in line with euro weakness? Okay. Uh, daily time frame, crown pattern played out, right? Didn't get to the D extension, but a nice move to the upside, and now we're breaking down. Okay, now we're breaking down. So stochastic pushing into the buy zone here, coming down. Those got taken out. We're moving down, 50% retracement, D extension achieved. All right, boom, and we broke our trend line. Down to the one, here's that 80-20. All right, this was a beautiful move back to the upside. Breakdown. Right. So now, do we get a high price to get back short? Check this out. Cloud break. All right. We're bearish. So do we pull back, retest the cloud back into the sweet spot? There's your 80-20 opportunity. All right. Play a TP1, TP2. Yeah, I feel you, Reese. 80-20 in the short term, get a high price, and then see if we get opportunity to get back short here. Boom. There you go, folks. Okay. Appreciate that, Reese. Kudos, Kay, on being in the euro dollar short. Kay's been doing a great job, man. She's a perfect example of taking action as you're learning, right? I know a lot of people get into the space and they're afraid to take trades. They're afraid to implement because the fear of losing, because the fear of whatever it is, right? Um, and since day one, Kay's just been taking action, right? Taking action on what she's learning, implementing. And Kay's been in some phenomenal trades, right? She's lost some, right? But she's won some too. So beautiful to see, man. Beautiful to see. So that's the 80-20. Any questions on the Euro cat? Cool. Cool deal. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar was interesting because, right, daily time frame, we haven't broken out of this AB boundary, right, on the sub fib or the capital fib. So we're still in the sweet spot here, looking for price to continue moving to the downside, right? And see if we get that dollar strength, break the support level 65.559, right, and continue moving down. But I was looking to see on this sub fib off the C if we're able to stay inside this AB boundary, and we were. Right. So now it's just a matter of what happens from here. Right. Stochastic is on the lower end, um, close to the buy zone. Right. So we could get another push to the upside, but does 67,135 continue to hold for us to stay short here? Okay. Give me 1 second, everybody. My bad. So right, see if we're able to break that level, continue moving down. Come here to the 4. We've already gotten a 382. So watching the C, strong bullish move. We took back that full move. Now what happens? Do we stay range bound and push back to the top? Right? What happens here? So watching that part closely, or do we just get a pullback and then continuation down? So watching that closely to see what happens here. But ultimately, the overall, my bias on this one is still to the downside. I'm just looking to see how it plays out, though, how it gives it to us. Right. So here on the 1, we took out that A boundary. Beautiful move back to the upside. Right. And you see fibs going back and forth. Right. Just tells you that we're in a range. Top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range. And you see coming back down, we took that A out again. Boom. Let's see here. Looks like we did get to that 382 level, 66407. Just barely wicked that 382 level. We could see this come back here, right? And give us a deeper retracement on that. We could see this come back, right? And give us a deeper price here. So watching that for a high price. And then look for that action there. That's the Aussie dollar. Questions?
No.
No, no. Cool deal. Looked at the euro dollars. Take a peek at the pound dollar. I'll go back to that euro Swissy and we'll analyze that one too. But pound dollar, right? Pressing back down. Right, coming into that pressing, trying to see if we press through this. That should be there. Boom. 126,808 on the support. Okay. Just missed the 382 there, so we haven't gotten to a 382 on the daily time frame yet. We'll see if we do get there. But moving down, see if we're able to break that level. Get there, then, right, we'll look for price to continue moving to the downside here. On the 4, we've already had, right, deep retracement, and we've been long on the 4, right? Been moving to the upside, but it's been super choppy, right? So you got back and forth. You got daily, potential 80-20. On the 4, you got a deep retracement, right? So we'll look to see which side wins out, right? Recently, it's been the pound. They've had strong data, right? So we'll see what happens. See what happens here. Coming down to the 1, you see the back and forth here. Right? So this fib got taken out. We're headed south. So not much happening there because it's a ton of back and forth, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay. Let's look at this Euro Swissy. We're looking at this one for retracement, right? Daily time frame, we're moving down. Looking to see price settle in the sweet spot. And it just continues sliding, right? Now we're sitting at a daily support level, 95,553. And we'll see what happens. See if we get a retracement, right? But price is moving to the downside. Boom. Interesting, right? 80-20 scenario here. Take this out. Now that A got taken out. So here we are. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone. See if we hold at this daily support to give us the retracement that we've been looking for. We'll see. Coming down to your 4, right? We had an 80-20 here on the 4. That D extension was just above there. And you see, boom. So that took us out. That took us out, which is all right. All right. So now we'll look to reset and see if we get another reaction and then move back to the upside. Okay. On the 1 hour, you also had 80-20 scenario that just continued to ride. Right. So the elections causing some concern. We got to get some more updates there, but that's where we are. That's where we are. So we'll watch and see. Watch the reset, AB boundary. We got an 80-20 on the daily time frame. See if we can get some confirmations on the lower time frames of the reversal, and then we'll look for price to move back to the upside. And this one will play what we see, because now it's to the Swissie's been a little bit more hawkish with their data, at least. So this one will be interesting to see how it moves going forward. All right, but that's the Euro Swiss. We took an L on that one. Questions on the Euro Swissy? Nope. All right. I'm gonna check on this Euro Pound. Hit the D extension. We had an 80-20 on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour. All right, and you see it just ran off to the downside. Didn't hold at that level, push to the D extension. Now we're pressing back to the upside, and we'll see what happens on a reset, but still moving down, right? So even on this pair, right? Look at this. It's just been down. Not even giving us an opportunity to get a high price. All right. So that momentum has been to the downside and hasn't shifted yet. Been looking for it, but we haven't gotten it. So that one hit the D extension as well. This is what I actually did not take this trade even though I planned on it. So we'll watch and see how things move from here though. Okay. Questions on the euro pound?
No.
No questions.
Nope.
All right. Let's take a look at we looked at the Swiss yen, right? Yep, we looked at, did we look at the Swiss yen? Did I skip this one? No, we looked at it. We hit the D extension there. Aussie CAD. It's just lingering, right? We pushed above that level, but we weren't able to continue. So I'm watching this one to see what happens here, right? I haven't seen a ton change for the Canadian dollar, but I would have loved to see this one push into the 118, 127 zone here. All right, we just missed that 118 level with the wick to the upside, and we're pulling back. So let's see if we get another push like that to get us into the zone there. Right, and then I'd like to see an opportunity to get short. So let's watch that there from a daily time frame perspective. Coming down to the 4, it gave us what we needed on the 4 though. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens, right? Because we did push into the 118 and 127 zone here, which we were looking for, right? Would have loved for it to push a bit higher, but it did give us the 80-20 here on the 4. And here's the breakdown. So not a super strong move down. So we could still be in for another push up. So we'll watch this and see if we get that type of ABCD action and give us a higher price to get short. If not, right, I'll consider it a miss, right? I missed it, and we'll see it move to the downside. So let's watch this one and see. We got an 80-20 there on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. And then here on the 1. We had an 80-20 there as well, right? But we ran off to the D extension on that spike and then the reverse. Okay. So 80-20 on the 4 is what we're watching now, right? Either to play out from there as it is, because it did move into the sweet spot, or Ryan will get another opportunity if price pushes to the upside to enter this one on the move down. All right. So that should play there. And that was the setup. Questions on the Aussie CAD?
No questions.
Cool deal. Ben, you got any other pairs you got your eyes on, bro?
No, not right now. Just like I said, continue to track that euro dollar, find out more details with some of the latest data going to the downside, and then also look. I mean, still looking at dollar strength overall. They
Dollar
they
strength
held they
over.
held rates. They've been pretty hawkish. So just continue to keeping an eye on the fundamentals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Team, you guys got any questions about anything that we covered this morning? Well, I'm going to share this article with you guys. I'll drop it in the community as well. It's an interesting take. Basically saying that there's still an opportunity for the Fed to hike rates. Send that to you there. Good people. Happy Friday. All right. Enjoy your day today. enjoy your day today. Right? Here in Michigan, the sun's shining. Yesterday was 90 some odd degrees, with some rain mixed in. Take an opportunity to get some sunshine, spend time with the people that you love, right? The people that you enjoy. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the weekly ritual. You guys have a phenomenal Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you.